You're tuned into Soul Fusion Cafe, your place for radiant wellness and soul-forward living. Join your host, Jess Juntunen, quantum healer, intuitive, and midwife to the awakening spirit, as we dive into quantum tools, wisdom teachings, and integrated healing pathways for transformation. You can live a life of freedom to be without limitation. Cozy up, grab your tea, and enjoy this hour of expansion, wisdom, and love. Hello and welcome to Soul Fusion Cafe. My name is Jess Juntunen and I am very honored and grateful to be your host today. And we are broadcasting at Oneness Talk Radio as well as on YouTube, Oneness Talk Radio YouTube. And you can always find archives at Oneness Talk Radio and also at my website, selfascensionstudios.com. So this show really, its main heart is soul forward living. Soul forward living is living a life of freedom from the truth of who we are. It's self-ascension. The heart of everything I teach is the yoga of self-ascension. That is the practice, the philosophy, the ways that we can empower ourselves to live from our heart, to live soul forward, to live our life from our higher presence and essence, who we truly are, and break free from the old patterns and limitations that really do seek to hold us back and stop us. And, you know, from everything from talking about the ego and dark nights of the soul to guidance and support for the times now, there are so many different episodes featured that are either specific topics or more of the open guidance for those of us that need it at this time. And at this time, I really have been called to offer a series every week exploring the energies that are coming in. I am an energy channel, a cosmic priestess, a self-ascension intuitive counselor, a medical intuitive, and I have many tools and tricks of all nature that I love to bring into readings and support for others. So it's really quite a fantastical blend, but I consider myself very much a steward of the earth and carer of the earth, but also so connected to the cosmic lineage and divine priestessship and goddess. So that's kind of my flavor. And if you're here and just found me, welcome. It's so good to see you. If you've been here before, it's good to see you again. And I've been so excited that these have become videos so you can see and watch if you'd like to at YouTube at the Oneness Talk Radio page. But also if you're just listening on audio, that's totally cool too. But it's been fun to bring video stream into this too, so we can see each other and say hello. This week, I really do want to dive into some things that can really help support us during a time that is very challenging. Of course, the coronavirus is on everybody's minds. A lot of people have things to say about that. A lot of spiritual leaders have things to say about it. There's been channels of the virus. You know, I don't really want to go deep into that, but I do want to provide a framework of things that can really support at this time, because what is happening, the virus is just one piece of the puzzle. What really is happening is there are massive up-level moments happening on our planet. And we just had one with the recent super full moon. And I know you felt it last week. Really big moment for everybody. Everything is being up-leveled. And that means everything without exception, because on this planet of form, there is no limit to our expression. So all expressions are being illuminated, all expressions are being amplified and charged, and that's what we end up seeing, right? We see the result of that in political spheres, you know, all across the board, in homes, in our personal lives, in our own minds. We see how things are really amplified, and that victim consciousness is truly being amplified. The ego is truly being amplified and trying to hang on with everything they got. Fear is got a grip on people right now, and it is serious. And fear is more dangerous than the virus itself. Fear is really what ends up, people give away their power when they're afraid. And when people are terrified, they give up their soul. And that's a divine director's quote. And a lot of my work in yoga of self-ascension, I am a student as well as teacher of self-ascension, and my mentors are those that brought this into the world through the archangelic realm, through ascended masters. They are very, very pure teachers and leaders, Sri and Kira, Sri Ram Ka and Kira Raa. And they have shows at Oneness Talk Radio, if you don't already know that, and on YouTube as well, and an amazing website with so much free information that you can just access. They have beautiful classes and things too, but just check out what they have. They're offering so much right now to truly support us. And one of those things that is a small investment is the Navigating the Inner Matrix program, of which I am a coach for that program too. It's 9 weeks. You foundationalize your lower 3 chakras into peace, love, and joy, thereby making it easier to lift and connect to your wisdom and your truth at this time, because those lower chakras are getting rocked hard with all this energy hitting the planet. So I know you felt it at times, right? Our fear starts grabbing us, and it's different for everybody where it gets us. Maybe we're worried about loved ones, we're worried about ourselves, maybe we're worried about the political world stage, the environment, or all of it, right? But we all have our fears being triggered. So this program, Navigating the Inner Matrix, really stabilizes them. And I'm going through it again. I've gone through it multiple times. It's from the archangelic realm. It is amazing. It is life-changing, I promise. And you get a coach along the way that just supports you, and you turn in your work every week. It's transformational, and what a beautiful thing to give yourself during this time frame. And of course, there's other coaches too. You just pick who you resonate with. So there's that. I didn't know I was going to plug that right now, but it just felt really right to put that out there right now. So you could check that out if you wanted to at shriandkira.com under their courses, or might be even on the main webpage, or send me an email, jess@selfascensionstudios.com, and I can point you in the right direction. So this week, it's a big week that we're coming into. We're coming into stride into the middle of April. It's very much, April's an intense month. If you are feeling, as I am hearing from people, all kinds of physical symptoms, they're not actually sick. I do know some people that do have the coronavirus as well, that are doing their work to shift and lift through it. But you know, there's other symptoms just being expressed, like, oh no, am I sick? My throat's acting up, or my chest, fatigue. A lot of these kind of symptoms people are reporting to me, and they are part of ascension symptoms. And some of them though are really speaking because the body needs help clearing, the body needs help lifting. Right now, it is extremely important to take care of our bodies. And I brought in this beautiful scene from northern Michigan, where I have my home right now. These are pretty much all red pines in a pine forest. I was in one afternoon a few weeks ago and snapped this picture, and I really just felt like bringing the energy of earth into our conversation today. So if you're watching the video, you're seeing this beautiful forest that it looks like I'm sitting in. And I really do love the energy of earth and trees and nature, because I think it's so important to our body and our healing. It's not just what I think, it's what we do know now. Now science can prove that being in nature is good for you. Go figure. But if you are able to get outside right now, or just be with one tree in your yard, it will help support you. It really, truly will. And there's some really beautiful practices, like spending time with a tree and just inhaling the oxygen and exhaling the carbon dioxide to the tree, you know, and doing this exchange and really holding gratitude and reverence and connecting with the tree and the earth and your body. That can be so powerful. And our bodies do. It's like, drink lots of water, eat lighter. Think, more vegetables, getting rid of heavier foods, and things that weigh us down, really lightening up our load. Our body is trying to integrate to all these higher frequencies. So wherever you're at, if you're just more new to spirituality and thinking about multidimensionality, or if you've been working in that realm a while, I think there's things you can take away from this episode today, where I'll be really providing guidance. And if there's things that you have questions about or you want to know more, I did a whole episode on multi-dimensions and fifth dimension and beyond last week in early April 2020. So you can see that in the archives at Oneness Talk Radio, at YouTube, Oneness Talk Radio, or at selfascensionstudios.com. So you could check that out. But really, let's take a moment to just connect with right here and right now, hand to heart, and breathe. That is one of the most powerful tools in our toolkit, hand to heart and breathing. This immediately relaxes the nervous system. We come into alignment with our body. Our soul knows that we're listening. Our body relaxes. And this is really an amazing moment because we're being offered the gift to expand, to really feel the spiral of our multidimensional presence. That is what will help our body. And of course, do the things, exercise, drinking water, eating healthy, taking care of mind, body, and spirit as much as possible, seeing this time as a retreat, studying, doing things that bring you joy, creating, support yourself. And this time, we're really being asked to step into our multidimensional presence. If we have been working on our path of awakening and consciousness and living from the heart, living from the soul, this is something we're being asked to really step into ever more, because we're more than this body of form. We're more than the third dimension. We are a human, but we are a spirit. We are really a spirit having a human experience. And you wanted to be here at this time. I know those of us who have been walking this path, I've been hearing it from so many that are saying, oh my gosh, this is the moment I've been waiting for, like preparing for, even though this is so terrible, in a lot of ways. It's hard to not judge what's happening around us, but it's not the way that we may have necessarily picked, but we know this is our call to action, and coming into that acceptance of it, that, okay, this is what it is, and releasing and relaxing judgment and stepping into our truth. And it is inviting us to step in big time. But there are also those that even while they were awakening or awakened, they've given up hope and spiraled down into darkness. And there's always a choice to lift again. But if you're feeling that pull, this episode's going to be very important for you to tune into, because we're going to go into the 6 steps for navigating the spiral of our multidimensional presence as given to humanity by the divine directors through Master Lady Kira Raa. She is not only a channel, but she is a pure, she ensouls messages. She can get out of her ego filter completely. Whereas most of us, if we're channeling, we still have some aspect of our personality self for the channel to pass through. But with her, she's able to leave her body completely because she holds her body. They're a twin, and it comes purely through her. So the divine directors have been giving us information for this past year. And if all that sounds really out there and weird to you, just listen to the message. It's the message, not the messenger, that matters. Or, maybe you're just nodding your head like, yeah, I totally am there for it with this. But it's a whole interesting world and realm. Believe me, when I first came to doing this work and souling and channeling and all of that was very out there to me, and I'm a very left-brained, skeptical type of person. I would have never thought I would be you're talking about this on a internationally broadcast and syndicated episode of a spiritual talk show, but here we are. So just be open and curious. You never know where it's going to take you when we are awakened. And if you're already along for the ride, well, welcome. Here we go. So these 6 steps, I think, are so important that I wanted to bring them onto the show to offer this guidance. I've been using these with clients. I've been using this with myself since this message came through about a month ago in March. And these 6 steps they're profound. They will help you stop the spiral, and they will help you awaken your consciousness, and they will help you spiral back up. You don't stop the spiral really ever, but it will stop you from going all the way down if you're getting pulled down, and help you lift back up. So the 6 steps for navigating the spiral of multidimensional presence. And the divine directors say, I will just read what they say. Welcome to all who are ready to remember and claim. For those are the ones who are calling forward the restoration of balance through the divine nature of their ascended presence. This moment is one that is expansive in nature and dynamic as a co-creative essence. This essence is yours to restore within as you remember the energy of that which you are and which you are co-creating as distinctive as they are one. The spirals of the multidimensional witness experience now literally mirroring the upliftment. The 5th dimension of compassion as the gateway to the realms of ascended presence has called forward the brilliant ignition of divine illumination. This is the illumination that has fully anchored as support for all at the 5th dimensional experience. It is similar to a 2-way mirror that reflects back with illumination what is being projected into the mirror itself, and it is also an amplifier. So let's just take that in for a moment. The illumination of what has fully anchored as support for all in the 5th dimensional experience. The 5th dimension, our 3rd dimension is our body, thoughts, emotions, everything going on here on earth. The 4th is very compressed around the 3rd. It has a lot of disincarnate energies and it feeds on fear, anger, and chaos right now. And then the 5th dimension is around that. And the 5th dimension is all about compassion. The 5th dimension is where we really feel that love and forgiveness for ourselves and others. Forgive them, they know not what they do. In the 5th dimension, it becomes very easy to hold that energy of loving, forgiveness, mercy, just compassionate love for ourselves and others. And we really are practicing lifting into that 5th dimension, and many are trying to go there now, and we are going beyond the 5th dimension that's available, and we really must at this time be able to lift beyond the 5th to stay stabilized, because the 5th, even though it's so beautiful and has all that compassion, is being rocked a bit by so much energy in the 4th and the 3rd. It's like eroding the borders, and there's this mirror that's been placed there, the 2-way mirror. It's reflecting with illumination what's being projected onto the mirror, an amplifier. So fear or chaos is being amplified in that mirror if that's what's being projected up at the mirror. Peace, love, or joy being amplified. So your energy is really, really mattering right now. And that's happening in the 5th as this kind of like buffer zone. And we are lifting beyond that. But they're saying thereby, if the energetic radiation is reaching up from the 4th dimensional experience, it will reflect the completeness of the reflection, thereby the energy that carries judgments, fear, and doubt are revealed with greater clarity. And not all who receive this revelation are ready to see. So right now, we're able to see so much more clearly all of the judgments, the fears, right? The masks are coming off. We're seeing the truth of who people really are. I've like never seen anything like it. Turn on and watch my country's leader for a moment and going, am I watching a bad B movie? Did I walk into a different dimension? Oh my gosh, like, oh, the mask is off, right? There's so many beings out there that are just saying, hey, this is who we are and we're doing it. And there are some that just still don't see it, but it's being revealed for those of us that do wish to see. And it's getting intense sometimes, just what's going on in the world. You're like, is this real? It's amplified, and what is very what is not of the highest good or ascension is very apparent, and what is very apparent. It's becoming more clear. So that's a gift of this mirroring energy, as this reflection is originating from the fifth dimensional gateway, as the fourth dimensional frequently is currently expanding into the entry of the fifth dimensional strata. When the energy rises to meet the mirror from the third or fourth dimension, the mirrored energy reflects the radiation of all the aspects of the energy meeting it. Hence, the radiation reflects that which is blocking further ascension along with that which is lifting. Okay, so everything reaching up from the third and fourth dimension into that gateway of the fifth, it is being reflected and radiating all the energy that's meeting it. So this radiation reflects that which is blocking our ascension and that which is lifting. So it's becoming clear on a personal level, collectively too, but I mean, as we work on our own personal path of self-ascension, because that's how we make the biggest difference, is to do our work on ourselves. That mirror is reflecting to us exactly what might be holding us back. Isn't that a gift? Because it's showing us, oh, here's where you have a hang up. Here's where you're not lifting. Here's where your body is still holding back, or your mind. Here's where your ego is still active. And if you are feeling your ego being activated, you are feeling it being mad, angry, blaming, sad, you know, of course we have to honor the fact that we have feelings in the ego. We don't want to just tell it go away, but we want to call forward our ascended self in order to make the ego feel safe. It just needs to feel safe and loved. It's our personality. It's connected to the inner child. It just really needs to know it's heard. And then we can use that as a gateway of understanding and expansion to lift and hold compassion and love around that part of ourselves that's so scared. It can be so scared of our lift that it throws everything at us to keep us from doing it. And you know, you've had that moment where things seem like they're really going, and then, you know, an amazing connection happens, something shows up for you, and then you're so excited and saying, yes, this is it. And then the voice comes in, but, and it tells you the story, you know, you're not good enough, or who do you think you are, or you shouldn't do that. It doesn't sound safe, you know, and that at that moment we might pull back and listen to the ego and say, oh, okay, I won't take that opportunity or do it. It sounds scary. You're right. And this is that moment where we really need to say, hey, you're not driving. Get in the back seat. I'll buckle you into your car seat. I'll give you a sippy cup, some snacks, watch a movie. You're not driving the bus. I am, but I'm going to take care of you. And I'm going to take care of that fear that you have. And the ego will soften, and it will become easier and easier to lift. But that mirror is reflecting to us so perfectly right now what we need to see. And it's a gift. So this is all just the intro to these 6 steps for being able to lift into our multidimensional self and really experience our radiance, because it's our time. It's our time to wake up. If you're still listening or you're just tuning in, you're here for a reason. So if the radiation that meets the fifth dimension from the seventh or above, so you have the fifth dimension, just imagining it's around the fourth and the third. There's the seventh or above. If this radiation is meeting, it further assists to lift energy and to anchor multidimensional stability as it mirrors the upliftment of the dimensional experience and receives it as a ray of light. Wow. So I want to read that again. And if the radiation meets the fifth dimension from the seventh or above, it further assists to lift energy and anchor multidimensional stability as it mirrors the upliftment of the dimensional experience and receives it as a ray of light. This illumination offers direct connection, rapid upliftment, and ever greater expanded awareness. So that's what's waiting for you, is this beautiful ray of illumination to continue your propulsion and upliftment and expand your awareness. Thereby, the choice from the experience folds into instant creation. Awareness, experience, and choice are one as the illumination becomes all-encompassing. This is the moment of ignition from the divine within to fully come forward while in form as the guiding light through the illusion. Hashtag lineage holders. Lineage holders are amazing beings. Maybe you're part of the lineage holder movement that is happening on the planet. There are so many of us awakening up to our gifts, and it is us who are these guiding lights, and many, many others who are saying yes to themselves. The lineage holders are those of us who have really said, yeah, I'm here. I'm here to help heal my family. I'm here to help heal humanity. I'm here to be that light, and you know it. And maybe there's times where you've gotten scared or held back or decided it's too much or too intense, but now you are seeing and knowing, no, now is the time. Now is the time, and you're so supported. We are so supported and so loved that we can guide and support others through the illusion as we are supported to walk through the illusion. There is a moment of greater awareness that continues to unfold, ever refining cycles through the journey of the eternal spiral. So they're saying, right, there's always this spiral happening. It's a dance. Sometimes we're going up, sometimes we're going down, sometimes we're just kind of laterally cycling, feeling stagnant, right? So that ever refining cycle that we're in of awareness, it's time, they say, the release of all judgment and expectancy calls forward further illumination through the upward spiral that begins with the entry into the fifth dimensional consciousness. So this is what we're cultivating, is fifth dimensional consciousness right now, that energy of compassion. And for those who choose to align with the energies of the co-creation through a linear timeline experience, often this is engaged as part of the downward spiral. So the divine directors here are sharing in this message that those who are aligning with we're all co-creating all the time, right? First of all, so the energies of co-creation, are we co-creating illuminated, ascended presence, or are we co-creating more blame, shame, drama, anger, fear, all of those? What energy we are in? And density is all those energies that aren't peace, love, or joy. They are those anger, suffering, fear. Fear can't even live in the fifth dimension. It is so part of the third and fourth. So those that are co-creating in the linear timeline, and that means the timeline that it feels like we're here on Earth, it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, the year, the date. You know, we're timeless when we lift out of that. But those that are really into the linear timeline right now are most often engaged in the downward spiral. So there's this constant spiral of expansion, and they're expanding in the downward energy. This engagement, when emanating from the fifth dimension, reflects upon itself and densifies through the astral experience of the fourth dimension, and then dissolves itself into the third dimension, hence the energy of forgetfulness. So it just reflects, moves down through the fourth into the third, and it's just like an implosion, right? And it says this is the implosion, the complete isolation from the true nature of the self. So how many just don't even know who the true self is? And when we want to judge and say, oh, this person or that person, you know, they don't see what's really happening here and they should do this or that. Even if we feel like what they're doing is harming our planet, if we are to stay in the energy of judgment, we're going to keep getting that reflected at us from the fifth. And when we lift into the fifth, we see that there's no judgment of it all. Everybody is playing their part in this awakening, and there are those that are completely asleep, and that is part of what they're doing right now. And forgive them, they know not what they do. They're completely densified. I like that. They're densified. Density is the third dimensional experience. So the blending, they say, the blending of the human creation with the mechanical constructs of the illusion. This is the energy of creation without illumination, the 100% linear experience, and many are choosing this. So if you're watching this, even if like some of what I'm saying is just like, whoa, it's so out there, you can get this message. It's free. It's a gift to the world. I can send you an email copy of it. It's from TOSA, Center for Enlightened Living, from Sri and Kira. You can find it at sriandkira.com. You can find it at lineageholder.com, blog site. You get your copy, and really, like, I'm going through this almost line by line and studying it with you guys, and we haven't even gotten to the 6 steps, but they're giving us context for what's happening right now, which I think is just so important. And of course, go listen to Sri and Kira on YouTube, their radio show at Oneness, and on YouTube, their materials, because they're delivering things that provide so much context and support right now. I feel so grateful and lucky to work with them, because they are delivering, bar none, some of the most pure, amazing support on the planet right now. Okay, so the divine directors continue. May your divine nature and the mastery that you are calling forward assist the mind of the body of form to appreciate all. The spiral is eternal, infinite, right? And all are within the spiral. Everybody's in this dance. The decision to navigate the spiral with full consciousness or without it are the unique journey that each aspect of the divine brilliance unfolds. They're all aspects of the divine, whether someone's conscious or not. For those that are choosing to be in this particular timeline of the co-creative illusion, there is a moment before you now of great illumination. All that is before you is to assist you to rapidly up-level your mastery presence without the delusion of linear time or the linear experience. So whoever you are, wherever we are at right now, participating, there is this great assistance and illumination that's available for us to up-level in our mastery experience. Is that not exciting? And we are able to break free of the delusion of linear time and the linear experience so much more easily than ever before. To be able to fully navigate the multidimensional presence without any disruption to the co-creative vastness of form, to remember fully and appreciate all, to release the judgment of the self and the experience, and embrace the compassionate wisdom of your eternal self. Wow. And that is a key step in the steps of self-ascension, and the steps are in no particular order. But releasing judgment is one of those steps. Surrendering is one. Unconditional is one. And being in union is one. And the being in union is union of the self and soul and body. And then we can bring that into union with others. But releasing judgment is key. of ourself, of the experience, and embrace the compassionate wisdom of our eternal self, the self that's beyond the form, right? The form is this beautiful form that houses the soul during this lifetime, but we are eternal. The blessing before thee exists within the mind of form. So within the mind of form, there is the blessing. The mind is currently being bombarded by fear and is seeking peace, love, and joy. The moment at hand is one that is inviting greater clarity and action. So the mind really does want the peace, love, and joy. We're just being so bombarded, right? We talked about that earlier. Just what is getting at you? What fears are peeking up in your mind? Because this is the moment where greater clarity and action are coming forward for us. It is through this moment that the up level of your mastery will infinitely expand and unfold in direct proportion to the awareness that you offer it. So our awareness is everything right now. And, you know, for those of us that maybe felt like we were just flowing along before this virus hit, before the world changed, and we don't know what's coming, it's like, whoa, well now I feel motivated because this energy here is to support us. So instead of floating along and being like, okay, the ascension, where, you know, I get it, it's here, it's happening, but like now it's like, no, it's here and it's happening. Let's get on with it. Let me take another sip of water. Thank you. So that's the intro that the divine directors give to these 6 steps of navigating the energy right now and for anchoring our multidimensional presence, because our multidimensional presence allows us to expand upward into the spiral. It allows us to bring forward our compassion, our wisdom, our clarity, take the action steps that will help ourselves and our planet, other beings right now. And when we do that and we illuminate, you are a healer, whether or not you're a healer in practice, like you have a practice. I mean, you are a healer just by being in your light, you know, and you're being called to activate, or you wouldn't even be listening to this program right now, right? So this is a time where so much support is being offered. And remember, you have support. I think sometimes we forget to ask our guides, our ancestors, the animals, the trees, the ascended realm, masters, angels, all of these guides and support that are here to help us at this time. Star races, you know, beings that are here saying, oh, we're here to help. We can petition, we can ask the light, we can ask the divine, God is to help us and support us. You're not alone. That's just a concept of separation and ego. We are all connected. We are all one, right? We're all part of the divine light. So what has got your attention lately? What really grabs you? What headlines reaches out and grabs you? You know, I'll use an example as we go through these 6 steps that got me earlier on and sometimes still gets me. It's the people aren't listening to maybe their inner being, you know, that they're not awake, that they're asleep, and they're one of these beings that are just like on total autopilot, but that they're hoarding all these supplies and things and making it difficult to go out and shop and purchase the things that you might need, or that they're just ignoring the rules completely. That, you know, at first when this all went down, I was like, oh, you know, it's probably just a scare thing by the media. Of course, the media is amplifying the fear. But, oh, wow, once I really researched, it's like, okay, no, this virus is serious. And to save our healthcare systems, we have to slow down the spread of it so that they can handle the people. So I saw that it was important that we take those precautions to take social spaciousness. I don't like the word distancing. I think we are still connected no matter what, but to really slow down that spread, and seeing people just ignore that or just not think it was real or going to affect them, that really got to me. And bother me and found myself in judgment. So those are some of my personal examples. I'm sure you can think of right away, what headline grabs you? Is it, being afraid for a loved one? Is it being worried about your finances? These are very real concerns right now. None of this is saying that none of these concerns are real. Like, you may have a situation that's extremely difficult right now. It could be, I'm afraid of how I'm going to pay my bills, or I lost my job. It could be losing a loved one. It's not an easy time. And the fears are valid in this experience that we're in, But if we want to lift beyond them so that we can really shine our light and dissolve some of those fears, and to really step into our power so that we aren't being stopped. Because if we let the fear in too much, it's going to stop us. And that's what it wants to do. There's a battle for your soul happening right now. There's an energy that wants you to say, I give up. It's too much. I'm too scared. And it's a choice. There's always a choice. What are you choosing? I know I can't lay back and say, no, I'm going to just let this take me wherever it takes me. It's just not an option. So the option is to keep going. And thank goodness there's all this support and help coming in from all these other realms to help us ascend and lift into a multidimensional presence, into an experience beyond this timeline, so that we can come in and support everybody that's here, and support those that don't even have a clue what's happening, but just holding compassion and love around them. So it can be really easy to get swept away in our fears. That's why these 6 steps are so important. So get the 6 steps. Go to lineageholder.com. I'm there commenting on blog posts and hanging out too. Send me an email. I'll send it to you. Check out shreeandkira.com. And really, I invite you to get these 6 steps going, because they work, okay? So we've talked all about the expansive spiral that's going up or going down or going laterally in a circle, keeping us stuck. So these steps are to be done in an order, and they help us enter the expanding spiral, but they let us pay attention and be aware of what's present to our consciousness at this time. So whatever's got your consciousness the loudest, work with that. So step number 1, notice what's standing out to your consciousness, what we were just talking about. What's really got your consciousness, your focus. Not what's trying to control it, not what's the loudest, but what has your focus that you keep gravitating towards. And really take a moment and notice whatever makes you honestly pause, whether it is to actually read an article or go beyond a headline. That is what is standing out to your consciousness and inviting you to greater awareness. So if it's about people not social distancing, not paying attention, being reckless, with gathering together in large groups despite the risk of exposing more people, if that's the awareness that I have, right, I'd be like, okay, like I'm seeing that, I'm aware, my consciousness wants me to keep looking at that. Or if it's, oh no, like, I don't know what's happened to my job or what's going to happen next, and that's where my awareness is. And then the second step is to notice where the awareness takes you. Pay attention and go deeper into the expansion of, why is this what your consciousness wants you to see? So go deeper in this step. You're aware, and now you're going to pay attention and expand on, what is your consciousness showing you? This is the beginning of opening up that multidimensional opening into your ascended consciousness. Step 3, then notice the story. Okay, oh, and our example in step 2. So where does the awareness take me? You know, what does my consciousness wants me to see? Maybe it wants me to see, oh my gosh, there's, you know, so many beings that are totally unconscious. And yeah, that bothers me, and I'm seeing that. Or, oh, maybe it's, you know, I'm seeing how many are suffering and losing their jobs and what's going to happen and how are they going to pay their bills and how am I going to pay mine. My consciousness just wants me to see that there's this human suffering that's happening. You know, those are just examples, right? So then step 3, then notice the story that you are hearing, being shown, or simply knowing about that which your consciousness wants you to see. Really dive into the story and allow it to fully take you deep into that which may not be fully present to your awareness. Dive into the story. Let it pull you all the way in. This is the moment of the master arising, for as you go deep into the story, the energy of the witness is silently waiting for you to activate it, and this brings you to the next step. So let yourself go into the story. Oh my gosh, there's so much suffering. People are just being in their ego. They don't care. People are hurting. I'm hurting. You know, letting yourself play that whole story through and be there. And notice that you're already starting to feel that there's this witnessing aspect of yourself standing there. And that brings you into the 4th step. As you engage the story, consciously notice if you can stop the thread of the spiral that has been created from this engagement. So you're co-creating in this engagement, going into the fear or whatever your consciousness is grabbing at, and see if you can stop it. And notice that the witness, which is your 5th dimensional self, showing up, watching, reveals that which is trying to call you into a downward spiral experience. So see in step 4 if you can stop in the spiral and see where this downward spiral is going. Notice it. And this is a huge moment of awareness, and you invite your brain to relax, and you become the witnesser and discover that conspiracy is actually the delusion of the illusion. Conspiracy is actually the delusion of the illusion. And there's always a thread of co-created reality within each delusion. This is because delusion is an aspect of the creation that was within the all. It is the active presence of the witnessing of the energy of the downward spiral without being in its tractor beam that calls forward the stop of the engagement of the story. This is the moment of divine connection that begins another cycle through the spiral of expanded consciousness. A moment of self-discovery. Greater awareness happens here. Recognizing that you're already engaging now the 7th dimension that is witnessing the energy of the 5th, of the 3rd. This wider perspective is showing you that story that's seeking to get your attention. And it invites your brain, the density brain, to rest and your ascended presence to lead. The blessing of this, the moment at hand, is that as you practice this, you are already ascending. So you're already starting to go back up the spiral by becoming aware, by witnessing, right? So first you're noticing what's standing out to your consciousness, then noticing where that awareness takes you, then the story, seeing the story you're being shown, and then engage that story and see if you can stop the thread, expand and witness what is really happening, and notice how you're already starting to detach from the power of that story, and you're starting to lift again by being the witness. Really powerful. Step 5, after the completion of the awareness energy of multidimensional presence, that's that last step. So becoming very aware of this witnessing aspect. When you're able to just witness the story happening, you're in multidimensional presence, because you're not being in the drama. You're just witnessing what's happening. And you start to notice and become much more aware of a bigger picture perspective. And, engage again with the density world in this step. Notice again, okay, what's going on there? What is standing out to your consciousness? What's trying to control it? What's trying to be the loudest? And bring your ascended presence to that calling of the consciousness. Pay attention and notice, what is your experience? What are you experiencing as you re-engage and you hold active presence around it? And they say, this is the journey of the awakening of those who have forgotten. This forgetfulness is at a level so deep that they forgot what they have forgotten. The mirror of the multidimensional ascended presence was set to open, and this is the full illumination before all. The moment of conscious choice to determine what you see and to have a scientific process that you can swiftly and easily guide you through the moment is a blessing for those who choose to move through this experience into ascended consciousness. The gift of clearly being able to notice and respond to the spiral energy of creation, to clearly see without judgment that which is pulling you downward, and to instantaneously become the mirror of divine revelation into the spiral that lifts you ever forward through the propulsion of infinite love and compassion. I love the divine directors and what they're bringing through for us. And then step 6, as you complete the 5 steps, then as with all cycles, notice what you are noticing, carefully inviting yourself to fully notice without reservation, and then begin the cycle again. You are the eternal being of the divine experience, the gift of co-creation. Through this gift, your awareness will bring you to the moment of experience and conscious choice. May this clarity assist you to navigate the spiral with greater consciousness as you lift ever more fully into the mastery of your true nature. Conclusion of that message from the divine directors. Copyright, TOSA for Center of Enlightened Living. Duplications provided with full inclusion of this copyright notice. So I can send you this PDF, or you can find it for yourself at lineageholder.com or check out shriandkira.com. I love that, right? So start the cycle again. And as you practice this, do this all the time. Every day, all throughout the day, it starts to become very, it's like learning to ride a bike. All of a sudden you're just doing it, and you can revisit the whole article and go deeply through it, but it becomes easy to just do those steps. Like, oh, I notice that I'm in density right now. Awareness is always so key. Oh, I notice I caught myself, I'm in density. Where's my consciousness at? What's got my attention? Okay, I'm going to be aware. I'm going to go into the story, and I'm going to call forward the witness and begin expanding and lifting again. What's being illuminated by that mirror that's in the 5th dimension right now? And then, as soon as you start expanding, your consciousness often is just like, oh, and now this thing, so you can keep playing with that and noticing. But this is rocking and powerful. Like I said, been using this with myself, with clients, and it has been one of the go-to tools right now. It's just all written and given right to us. So why not take that for this moment in time to help us on our path of expansion, on our path of honoring the human form and all that we are, but dancing in our multidimensional experience and becoming the illuminated love and light that we truly are. You are light. You are love. You are all of these beautiful things. And through our ignition and through our true presence, we are supporting and holding that doorway open so many others can step into their power and into their awakeness. And boy, do the miracles and synchronicities happen fast. There is an inspiration energy when we're in our multidimensional experience. If you feel tired and worn out, that is because density has got you in its grip. And these steps will help you break free of that grip and remember the witness and the presence of divine that you truly are. So this has been an amazing hour. It goes very fast. I hope you really did enjoy this, because I enjoyed exploring this topic and lifting into our multidimensional presence together so much. If you have questions, would like to be on an interview, let me know. And stay tuned, because I am still working on Soul Fusion Cafe having a little facelift. It's going to have a new name and a new feel. But just stay tuned, hang out with me, check me out at Facebook at Soul Fusion Cafe Radio or Self Ascension Studios, Instagram, Soul Fusion Cafe Radio, and Joy Love Jess, my website, selfascensionstudios.com. I'm here for free discovery sessions. I like to just hear from you. Shoot me a line. I'm sending you all my love and so many blessings at this moment in time. Know that all is truly well. This is a big week. Ignite your ascended presence. Much love and many blessings. You've been listening to Soul Fusion Cafe with Jess Juntunen. Connect with Jess and learn more at her inspiration hub, selfascensionstudios.com, and over on Instagram at JoyLoveJess and Soul Fusion Cafe Radio, or over at Facebook at Self Ascension Studios and Soul Fusion Cafe Radio. Thank you for listening. See you next week. Namaste and many blessings.